entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
You go ahead and bring in the intro to the intro.
Oh, that's my favorite one so far. Everyone's left. Wait, let's see who's left. Everyone's out. Like, what is this from? Okay. Well, that was fun. I think everyone literally left. They're like, I can't take it anymore.
Sweet,
anyways,
that means we could talk about all the things.
Yeah, we can talk about all the dirt. No one's watching. So,
yeah.
How was your week?
So far so good. First week on my new job for a little summer gig. So it's nice.
Look at he found me. He found me. He's like, this guy does dividends. What the hell is he showing? So that was a Slipknot concert I went to before COVID.
Oh, very cool.
Or no, after. I've been to them like 8 times. I lost track.
Yeah.
But they're freaking awesome. It's always worth going to.
Yeah. I saw them myself live at First Mayhem Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
a lot of fun.
They put on a good show. Disturb also, like they know how to work a crowd.
Oh, they come through here all the time. I've seen them a dozen times. But that's why the Northeast is so great. The rock scene up here.
Yeah.
So COVID took that away for 2 years.
Yep. Hopefully prices stabilize between this year and next year, so that way
I know
things can be stabilized.
Never. I'm gonna run out of ideas at some point. I don't know. Well, they always say don't do intros because people get right to it. Like get right to your video because people have no patience. And I'm like, well, this is all just fun for me, so that's all that matters.
If you're here on a Friday night for the North American people, like come on, we're all just chilling.
Kid Freshy's already left the building. He's like, I'm out. So, anyways, figure we'd get to some topics on this live stream.
Yep.
And some things I was thinking about this week. So I had extra prep time because I had the day off from work.
Very nice.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today? Well, okay. Well, shortly. We'll start the first topic. So, basically SCHD, buy the dip. I want to show people about some patents that I've noted, or talk about patents briefly. We'll start with John Deere. Just a brief comment. That's about it. We'll talk about some military stuff. We're both veterans.
Yeah.
If anybody doesn't know, I'm an Army vet or National Guard vet, and BaconMemes is a Navy. No, I'm kidding. Air Force. I know you're Air Force now.
Yep.
So let me share my screen. Present. Boy, I am so good at this stuff, aren't I?
It's all good. That's why you brought me along.
So I listened to this earlier today. I had time.
Yes.
John Deere. I'm a John Deere shareholder. For people that are listening, I also have more recently acquired AGCO. So actually I was talking about this kind of with Fabio because I'm like, originally I just talking through it now. I'm like, I just think farming, the mechanization and industrialization of farming is going to get bigger and more prevalent. The older everyone gets, right? The whole world's getting older, basically.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I'm kind of debating if I should just go with one side, go with like the smaller player, or do I go with John Deere? Or do I just keep it 50-50? So just so people know, I mean, you got to be adaptable with these things. So my thesis in the long run is not really changing, but like how I'm playing it, I'm not quite sure yet. I'm probably 50-50 as far as the investment in both.
Yeah.
But this was a quote in the transcripts of John Deere's call today. Yep. So it's just something, and it's kind of like for people listening, like when I talked about Triton Industrial, it was only like one brief comment that kind of perked my interest, that started the ball rolling on that investment. So like, it's not like I went through every inch of the, you know, of the financials. And then I came to it, like, it's just something like flickers in your brain sometimes.
Mhm.
So this was one of the questions. This is a Q&A at the call. And then one of the people noted, or let me read the part. So he said, this is a John Deere person. So we're continuing to see strength. Contractors for the first time in their careers are turning down jobs because of the lack of labor, something I've been paying attention to. So I think the desire for more technology, the ability to do jobs in an easier, more simple manner is desirable. We see a lot of opportunity to continue in this fashion. So it's kind of one of my thoughts with the whole tractor play, I guess you could say, is that they have to. So farmers that want to industrialize and want to have most up-to-date equipment, they're doing it already. So now it's like, now are we going to drag along the people that didn't really want to, but now they might be forced to due to demographic change in the world? They can't find labor. Labor is getting more expensive and it's getting harder to find. So I don't know, just an update, I guess. I don't always share my most up-to-date. It's hard for me sometimes. Like I don't know. I'm not as comfortable as Fabio about sharing current investment ideas.
Yeah.
I'll try.
It's for me. It's really interesting because farmers are really really unique bunch.
Yes.
Like they will collectivize and they will galvanize like no other group in some cases, and in other cases where you'd think that they would unite, they don't always. It's like, for example, I remember overhearing how like water insurance for some farmers, some of them like the idea in theory, but they don't like necessarily the idea of how expensive the premiums might be, and how, you know, weighing out the cost, you know, trying to go collective, or, you know, go big pool, or just going at it as an individual. It'll be really interesting times ahead to see how between the farmers and their respective banks and credit unions, how they play things going forward.
Yeah.
I expect some movement.
There's other things I think Kingdom brought up, fertilizer companies, and then you've got the industrial portion that I'm in, the tractors and the machinery. So there's different ways to play it. I don't think the commodity, like ADM, I'm staying away from the commodity side of farm investments. It's not my thing.
No.
So that's John Deere. AGCO came out 2 weeks ago. They nailed it on earnings. Everything looked stellar. I was really happy with that. Getting my $5 a share special dividend next month, which would be very nice.
Very nice.
I almost kind of wish more industrial companies did the way they're doing it now, where they pay a very small quarterly dividend. And then they do a big special dividend, which is nice because then that gives management more flexibility. They're not stuck with this massive dividend payment every quarter. So they can change a special dividend based on how the business is doing. And they've said in calls, like if they have an investment that they want to pursue, they can decide. They're making this decision. Do they give me a special dividend, or do they make a investment for, you know, that would maybe improve the ROIC of the business?
Yeah.
So I like the idea of it. I only know of two companies. It's Packer and it's AGCO. Fabio, do you want the link, or you just want to listen? What's up to him?
While we wait on Fabio's response, Kale actually asks a question about repair services, which we kind of like briefly glanced at, but weren't able to get into like that in depth on. Was the whole right to repair and how important that would be to companies like a John Deere, possibly an AGCO. Fabio's at the gym.
Okay.
But,
that's the part I need more time to look at. I think that could be part of the reason why John Deere has not performed very well this year.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. I think you and me have talked about it. I'm aware of it. The whole right to repair movement. And I think I read today there's like 13 states considering right to repair bills right now.
Yeah.
It's not going to go federal. There's no way they can't get anything, but states definitely could do something with right to repair, especially in the more rural states. I could see it happening.
Oh yeah.
I don't fully have to dig into their they didn't really mention it. I looked through their transcripts in the presentation. They mentioned right to repair as a risk, I think, in one section.
Yep.
I don't know how it's specifically in the financials yet. I'll look more. It's a concern, but like to what degree? I don't know. I'm not overly worried about it.
Yeah, it's just because of the nature of how expensive the products are to begin with. Like, odds are I wouldn't be surprised if leases are a big thing. So, like, okay, so we chop off a little bit of an already smooth cash flow. Like, is it the end of the world? I don't think it's like an existential crisis. Like,
No.
yeah, but again, this is me being completely clueless here, but I'm thinking that probably just affects some of the margins just a tad. But
It's definitely something to consider with these.
Yeah, for sure. It's just that, like, for me though, I'm also wondering, like, the push and pull of software. Not to get all sassy, haha. There's a joke, but yeah, like there's a lot of cool stuff with industrial ag, as you mentioned, but like also going further with, say, facial identification technology, which we're all panicked about, and rightfully so in many cases. It's gotten so good where, like, you can identify, if it's the crop you want, or if it's a weed or something else, or if a specific batch of crops needs this fertilizer or more water or what have you. Like, it'll be really, really interesting. Like, and yeah.
Look, I
That's
think just the increase in costs of labor, the older
Yep,
population,
yep,
the harder to find workers.
yeah.
It's gonna push. I hate to say innovation. I
Yep.
said it.
No, like, it's legitimate innovation though. Like
Yeah.
I think most every accounting 101 class talks about, like, 0 net 30 or something like that, or, like, like 1 in 15, like what have
Yeah.
you. Like those, I mean, yeah, sure, those are almost like standards these days, but at some point those were innovative and they gave a business owner like a lot of flexibility. So
Like, I don't know if people are aware, like there's a lot of interesting technology in John Deere has very interesting AI technology that they're working on, as far as like automated tractors where they literally can do the whole work by themselves.
Oh yeah.
With, I think they use drones to map the fields, and then they can automatically reap the crop, I guess, or reap and sow, whatever the term is. And then not necessarily agriculture, but Caterpillar's working on remote control systems.
Yeah.
For their heavy equipment. So you could have like a dude in Singapore freaking digging your basement, hypothetically, in Chicago, something like that. It's in the works.
Yep.
Which is very interesting.
It will be
opportunities that could open up for the business. And I'm more interested in that stuff than Palantir.
Yeah.
So I guess we've bored people with farm equipment enough, right? Unless someone has
I just think that it would be really, really funny though if old school heavy machinery and equipment manufacturers are able to incorporate software into this new wave in such a great way that that they effectively have a moat because of their heavy capex and maintenance capex.
I don't think people are like. I don't think these people are uninterested in technology and advancement. But I think the company's gonna have to sell the idea to them more.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Not a straight line or a clear line necessarily from here to there, but and of course I'm not gonna like necessarily throw all my money at.
I think they're more about dollars and cents about it. The benefit, how much it's gonna cost them. So we'll see.
Yep.
What do you know? Cameron Stewart certified CPA Pepsi analysis. Okay, we'll come back to that.
I'm not familiar.
Let's see. I think farmers like to fix this stuff is getting more complex, which might. I mean, that's the other thing. You could give them the right to repair, and then John Deere could fight back and just make the machine's so much more complicated and tougher to, work on yourself.
Yeah.
Think of your car. There's cars where you can't even, I've seen cars, you can't even touch like the oil filter. It's so hidden. Like, why did they do that? I always used to joke that Valvoline paid them off, so you have to go to the service center. I mean, yeah, maybe they fight back.
Oh no. Oh no. They're asking about PEP.
Oh God.
They're asking about PEP.
That wasn't on my topics.
I was actually like randomly thinking about Coca-Cola and Pepsi out of the blue for whatever reason. I was thinking to myself, like, if someone gave you the secret recipe for Coca-Cola or for Pepsi, how much would that really be worth in your hands? Because we gotta think though, like, it's not enough to have the recipe. Even if you have the legitimate thing, you gotta throw in all the money for capex. You gotta enter a market that's basically a duopoly. Pray to God you don't get crushed.
I know.
Yeah, and you got to make sure your suppliers, distributors are on their A game, bottlers are, and that you have systems of control in place that you can match that legitimate formula, product after product after product. Like, I don't know why I was thinking about this, but that's just...
Pepsi. Now, I hadn't thought, I wasn't going to talk about that, but I think I watched part of his video. I don't subscribe to that Cameron Stewart guy, but someone put it in the Discord. I mean, I think his big gripe was that the free cash flow. Well, I mean, it's not unknown to like investors that the percentage of the dividend compared to the free cash flow, it's getting kind of out of hand. So basically, the dividend's just eating up all their free cash flow. Beyond just the valuation of the stock is really high right now. I don't really have much to say about it. I mean, I'm not doing anything with my Pepsi shares. I don't know. I'm not buying more. I'm not selling it. So,
just sitting and waiting to see if news goes serious one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's levers that Pepsi could pull that they haven't yet.
That is true.
So, I don't know. I'm not that concerned about it.
I just like the non-investor, like normal people space of, like, if the topic ever comes up of like Pepsi or Coke, they're like, oh yeah, Coke's way better. I'd throw my money in Coke if I could own the company. And I'd see them like munching away on like, Frito-Lay chips. Like, like, don't discount PepsiCo quite yet.
Oh, Kid Freshie with his Bridgewater analysts don't have. They do visit sites, get advanced info. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I have a few friends that are engineers, and I've worked in the logistics industrial space. Yeah. So I see where you're going with this. I mean,
I do too. In good faith, I do too.
Fair points. I don't know what you want me to say. I mean, have I worked on a cargo ship? No, but I got 30% on on an investment in a container company. So it's doable. And I do look at, now that I have an ETF, my question is, do I think I can outperform that ETF with my investments as a benchmark? So I'm not all individual stocks anymore.
No, certainly. That and also, like, I would add in like a Bridgewater.
But Peter Lynch would also say, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, Peter Lynch would say that I have competitive advantages over your Bridgewater guys by being a retail trader, because I don't have the limits of maybe a large fund that has rules that they can't go over, or an investor that doesn't want to invest in a small company because he doesn't want to put his reputation on the line.
Yeah.
So that would be more of the hallmark of Peter Lynch, to say, you do have advantages, but you got to know what they are. And it's not every investment type.
Yeah.
I have no damn idea what Salesforce does. And I never will. So.
Yeah, that actually was exactly what I was going to say was, yes, you can have information edge, or you could have information processing edge, maybe a combination of two, but so many people already do, and your ability to outweight or choose to have the right timeline for you is a power that not every institutional player gets to have. And
Mhm.
that's just really powerful.
So, okay, I guess we should go to SCHD. That was
Yeah.
topic on the thumbnail. Like, I just noticed, I'll probably talk about this more on Sunday with Kingdom, but there has been we've talked about this week. There's just been so much like negative YouTube videos, and man, like every day 5 to 10 people post like doomsday posts about SCHD, like should I sell? I'm worried it's underperforming. I'm just like, what are you retail people doing? Like, the whole point of buying an ETF like this, you buy it and you hold it and you buy it your whole life, and that's it. You don't worry about the price. You just buy it on a regular basis, dollar cost average. So for people watching, I have previous videos showing that just over long periods of time, you'll be all right. And even like, I think the one study, dollar cost averaging didn't even matter compared to just lump summing at the beginning of the year. That even wasn't a big difference, because more time in the market's better than less, you could argue.
Yeah.
But I just, like, this goes to Peter Lynch also. It's like, it's people that didn't fully understand why they bought SCHD and what purpose it serves in your portfolio. It's a dividend. It's not technically dividend growth ETF, but it's performing like a dividend growth because it's getting 15% the dividend growth per year. And I don't know if they ever even look, you want to buy this thing, and then in 20 years, the compounding effects of a 3.7 yield with 15% compounding per year, this thing's going to be a monster for people by the time you get to retirement. So I know it's obvious people were buying it last year. I mean, it ripped from COVID. It performed very well. And then people put you put it in a 5 years, it looks like it's outperform, or it's doing really well on a 5-year chart. But yeah, but there's periods in that 5 years where it didn't do so well. There's these brief periods where it goes really well and then it trades sideways. So but again, it's like, I don't think they fully understood why they bought it. Maybe they just bought it because dividend investors bought it. So everyone bought it, put it in my portfolio, and I'm a legit dividend investor. I don't think they gave thought to why you own something like this.
Oh, yes.
So like, I did a rough calculation here. Like, let's say, so it's a dividend calculator. So let's say I just put in like 100 shares, say you start with, okay, it's yielding about 3.6, 3.7. I put in, it's, even though the CAGR on the dividend's 15%, I put it to 12 because it'll drop over time.
Yeah.
And then let's say expected annual share appreciations, you're not performing, the market performs 7%. I put 4. So let's say it's not even performing that well. $4,000 annual contributions. Let's say this was your whole Roth IRA, something like that. But I put the taxes on so people can see with drip. So I did it. So 20 years later, you'd have like $350,000 with an annual dividend of 44,000. This is why you buy something like SCHD. Like, the people that are so concerned about the share price being down like 4 or 5% at like right now from when they bought it last year, you're missing the point of owning an investment like this. And to the people like, if you think dividends are irrelevant or something like that, I don't know why you bought this in the first place. Go buy QQQ or SPY. Why did you buy this? This is why you buy it. When you get to retirement, you're going to have $40,000, $50,000 annual dividend payments, like with an investment like this. So it's kind of part of, it kind of fits in almost with Peter Lynch, because he, like, in the videos, he has 6 categories, and then he developed, and then he had like what you would do once you identify the stock in that category. How would you treat it? What's your expectations on the investment? So it's same with this thing. I think people bought it and they didn't have an understanding of why they bought it. What purpose does this have? I've owned it since 2019, so I'm not that long in it. I don't understand why you buy it. I just buy it. I don't even look at what the price is. That's not the point of something like this. You just buy it on a regular basis. But I don't know. The SCHD videos do really well. So you put fire on it, lots of people want to watch it. So whatever. Do you have any thoughts? You don't own. I know you don't own SCHD. I don't think you
I
do.
no, I don't at this time. But I will say that I am intrigued, and I I haven't seen any of the negative videos. Have they been worried about SCHD from just pure price action, or are they worried that Schwab is going to like go down the tube somehow?
That could be it. Honestly,
Okay,
some
all
people
right.
might be scared that Schwab. I've seen that posted on Reddit.
Ah,
People literally ask what's going to happen to their SCHD if Schwab goes under. Um, I mean, yeah, it's very odd. So, anyways, so there's SCHD. So that's why I would tell people if you're going to buy it, you buy it as part of a portfolio. Like I said, my Roth is SCHG, SCHD basically. And it might include moat actually.
oh dear God!
I'm thinking about it. I
Moat.
might, I don't know. I might just get rid of all my REITs and just have those 3 ETF. Call it a day. I'm not covering that on this stream. Nope. It's
the
not mine
word
to
the word moat has haunted me. Like I've tried to like push back against it, and it just keeps going everywhere I go.
cover. But you can see, like, man, it's just like some of these, it just gets so much traction.
Oh yeah.
All I'm asking, like, when I look at it, I'm like, as long as the share price can maybe slightly go up over time, it's more about the compounding of the dividend.
Yeah, yeah, that's the whole
I don't really know
purpose.
why. And and this is going to be a good year to buy it. It's going to perform bad this year because it
Yeah.
has like 12% regional banks. It has AbbVie, well, because the methodology of SCHD does not consider expiring patents on drugs like
Oh
Humira.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
not one of the metrics. So
yeah.
without looking at that, yeah, if you just look at the criteria the SCHD uses, AbbVie look like a good investment. But that's what happens when you have, these passive, non-active ETFs. Stuff like that happens, right? Because there's no person there.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, anyways, let's see. Anything interesting?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Killed
I
notice.
think people and people are like, well, it's so popular. It is kind of concerning how popular it is. Yeah, but I think it's a good ETF the way it's constructed. It had lots of inflows last year, and it's probably going to have a lot of outflows this year. It'll be back to the norm. They'll find another ETF.
That's
Now,
Fabio and Kid Freshie going at it with each other. Yeah,
moat.
moat.
I want to do more about it, but I don't think I'm the one that I am not doing a video. That's
I
all.
smell a collab.
I found it. I think it's an intriguing ETF. I find like I'll look for ETFs for research on what they own,
Yeah.
like these specialty ones. It's interesting to research. So moving on from SCHD.
Yes.
Uh,
Oh yeah,
this
that's
was
right.
one. If people want, okay, this is something I'm looking at. I'm not saying I'm investing in this. I find it interesting. I'll give people a little piece of research. The Eastman Chemical Company has spent a lot of time developing bioplastics
Yes.
and polymers. And the appeal of these are plastics that have less impact on the environment and they're more biodegradable than the current plastics that are used. Specifically, I think they're looking at for like medical devices and other applications. So, like, that kind of goes with my idea of like, decarbonization of the world, less impact on the environment type investments that could be looked at beyond Tesla, because everyone thinks Tesla's going to solve everything. So, and if you want to look at stuff like this, you can also look up their patents, which bear in mind, I mean, none of us are like chemical engineers. So you can just, if someone wanted to browse through patents, you can go to websites like this and get some details on the patents they have. So that's all I want to say about that.
Yeah, that's useful. Been meaning to do a useful like database post in a certain Discord. So that's fun. Eastman Chemical. That name sounds familiar. Is this the same Eastman Chemical that Kodak acquired like years ago and like
It
way
was
overpaid.
split.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they split it off.
So
Yeah.
it was Eastman Kodak,
Yep,
and then
yep,
the Kodak
yep.
part died,
Died.
and then
Yeah.
the Eastman part was left.
Yeah.
What is interesting now, this is a very the dividend stats are interesting. It's dividend growth. Okay, we're at 7%, so it's a little lower. The yield right now is, I mean, the tough part is it's the same yield as SCHD, but you're getting half the growth.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one, you know, unless you think that the stock can appreciate more than SCHD. I don't know. But that's why it's good to compare it to an ETF, I think.
Yeah.
So, so you want to talk about buying the dip?
Yeah, sure. Why
We'll
not?
look at briefly.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I want to do a video, more detailed video about it, the topic, because I find it interesting. Just what do you think about when you hear? Well, there's two terms I hear online. It's buy the dip, and then there's also the Buffett quote. People say, "Be greedy when others are fearful." I think it's pretty much the same idea.
Yeah.
But what do you think of that?
So my immediate thought, like, and without like any context or details, I think to myself, it could work. It could do maybe okay, and it could be like the absolute worst idea ever. And it kind of depends on either what the market is or what the underlying thing is, and when you got in and for what reasons. So like a V or a K-shaped recovery, then yes, in hindsight, you'd say, oh yeah, buy the dip, duh. Like, just always do that. But what happens when you're trying to catch a falling knife and it just keeps going down? That's probably one of the worst times. Assuming that there's, that you're only trying to buy and hope that it goes up, and depending on what your decision making is, then maybe it's okay. Maybe that just means more buying opportunity, or it could mean that you're buying something that's going towards zero, or could never reach those highs again. Then there's also the other case where it just goes sideways for a long time. Like, you bought your dip, congratulations, but what if it goes sideways from there, and it doesn't go anywhere? Like, that's
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. But yeah. Those are my thoughts on buying the dip. Is I guess it just depends on the person. And oh well, look who decided to join us.
Howdy.
Getting the work in.
Yeah, Mr. Janitor.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let me guess. It was deadlift. No, you don't deadlift. It was
No. It was more of a full body day. Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Friday. It was more of a full body day.
Very nice.
Yeah. So I love the topic. Well,
We can get into it later on more. Like I got some research today. I want like some research papers.
Yeah.
Maybe we could be more specific later, but
better that way.
Oh no, Fabio is turning into Surgify from Twitter. Just the surgeon
am I good
who's
now?
like finance.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Connected to the car. Yeah. I think that, like, a lot of investors, we were already touching upon that, really take the buy the dip mantra the wrong way. And that's something I think we noticed last year with a lot of these meme stocks, but even, let's say, the lesser meme stocks, we'll call them the cult stocks. And I don't know how else to call it, but because I think it's a balancing act between realizing when you're wrong and just saying, oh, if it keeps going down, I have to buy more, because if I liked it at X price, I must like it at X minus 5 or X divided by.
Did Buffett really say that? Everyone prescribes that he said that.
Well, but the thing is, when the super investors, because multiple super investors have kind of touched upon that idea, they're not referring to that shit stunk that people are a big fan of. They're referring to, obviously, businesses that the investor has done a decent amount of due diligence, understands how they function and can acquire them when their, let's say, general operations are not deteriorating. Which, I mean, take your pick on the retail stocks of not even 2021. You don't have to go that far, but for some reason, one that came to mind was like Skills, because I think that was a Kathy Wood stock too, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Skills?
Yeah, wasn't that a Kathy Wood stock?
Yeah, I think
so. Yeah.
Because it was such, it was probably one of the most garbage companies that I've ever seen in my life. And when we were making videos back in 2021 criticizing these companies, retail kept shouting that same mantra. It's down, I'm buying more. I would get comments with people stating how many shares they owned, as if that made it better or worse or made me impressed. If anything, I felt sad. And then in hindsight, I feel even more sad if it was true, because a lot of times retail, you know how it is. You go on like a Seeking Alpha forum, and then it's like you read the comments. It's like, I got 10,000 shares at blah price, and it's like they've always somehow bottomed or timed the top or the bottom in a relative moment. You've ever seen those where they're just like the stock collapse, and then you see a comment like, "Thank God I sold all 10,000 shares at like 20% higher. I'll probably buy back later when it's lower." I'm like, whoa, shit.
I just get like,
everyone should have thought about that.
You bought the stock with the expectation of it going up, and then it goes down, and they're just like, "Oh, I'll lower my cost base." Well, why don't you think about it first? Like, pause. Like, there's like no reflection. I feel like they're just like they want to just they don't want to admit defeat. They don't want to admit any failure. SoFi.
Yep. SoFi.
Dude, there's so many guys on. I have a whole list of guys right now, and they post videos about buying more SoFi. More, lower my cost base. I'm like, I don't think they've really reflected on the concerns that are becoming more worrisome. They're just digging their hole deeper.
Well, I think all three of us here would agree. That's why one of the more important things of any skill in investing in portfolio management is position sizing. I mean, I know, Bacon, you're going through the academic side of that right now. I think it's pretty fresh in your mind, and I assume your professors have beaten into you that it's not just about selection of assets. It's also about allocation, because for a variety of reasons, you want to kind of smooth out the volatility, lower the correlation of your assets as much as possible. In some, I guess, schools of thought, we were just talking about the Bridgewater a little bit ago in the comments, but that's kind of like what their approach has been. Is their strategy is pretty much trying to lower volatility as much as possible, the all-weather portfolio.
Oh, dear God.
And they make no claim, right, that it's going to outperform.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But they make the claim that it will smooth out the returns over time.
Oh, actually.
Well in any environment.
Actually, from like portfolio and academic standpoint, I'm gonna send you the most recent like Pirates of Finance episode. Like they get into that pretty big, like the whole debate around alpha and what does it even mean? Is it even desirable?
Yes. Yes. I mean, I love that podcast. Those guys are having great conversations over there. I guess people who are dropped on their head enjoy that stuff, like you and I. But right, you have to.
Yeah.
Enjoy that.
Yeah. This is good times.
But
it's good times.
Anyways, getting back to the buy the dip, Dan. Who are those people that you're talking about? I have no idea who they are.
Oh, our favorite.
Who could you possibly be referring to?
I found a few more too. Other YouTubers like dividend YouTubers, innovation YouTubers. Everyone secretly has a pile of SoFi stock. I don't understand it.
Oh God!
Joseph Hogue, Bowtie Nation, has just bought 3,000 more shares.
Oh, he's evidence that CFA accreditation has Sometimes people slip through the cracks.
Oh, God.
People slip through the cracks because I'm not going to slander that accreditation. It's a fine accreditation, and just as soon as I finish my last exam here, that's the next one. That's again sponsored by the employer, which is nice to get. So I'm not going to slam it or slander it, but some people slip through the cracks, evidently.
Speaking of slipping through the cracks, is it alright if I do a slight burn, or I can hold off till later?
I will show you. Well, there is one.
Dan,
Hold on a second.
Mhm.
All right, Dan, you make the decision right now. What steak do I buy? What cut of steak?
I determine how it's cooked.
Okay. Fair game. Well, actually, there's only one right answer, so I hope you have the right answer. But Dan has an open-ended.
Yep.
I like a New York strip normally.
All right, I'm getting New York strip. It's done deal.
Okay. And
So,
for
okay,
you,
I can't find
How
it.
am I going to cook that New York strip?
So there's buy the dip, be greedy when people are fearful, and then there's Ross Gerber, who tells you to cut your losses immediately and just move on. Where would you be in that spectrum? In the middle somewhere, right?
context, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Bacon go first. I'll say after.
Yeah, for me it's context, and I think, Fabio, you normally like yours cooked medium rare. I say go bloody.
Yeah, medium rare.
Yeah, go rare. Go rare.
Okay, I'll do that.
No, I'm just joking. Go medium rare. Medium rare is good. It's good. It's good. Yeah.
Okay, so but to answer the question here, Bacon,
Yes.
where do you fall in that
So
spectrum?
for me, yeah, it's very, very context dependent. Like some cases I will not even buy the dip. Some cases I won't also even do what Ross Gerber says of, like cut out on your losers. Like some cases, maybe buying the dip does make sense in an orderly way. Other cases, sometimes, hey, earnings comes out or fraud comes out. Hey, like you need to cut on your losses. Like, what are you doing? Get it out while you can. Yeah. So for me, it's context.
Or you disagree with what management's doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I couldn't have said it better than Bacon. I think that's my answer pretty much too. It's because I've said
before. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
I'll say, like, I've said before, like, I have a range when I'm buying a stock, not a buy price, a range. If it goes above or below that range, I pause and I reassess what I'm doing. I don't buy the dip necessarily.
Yeah, that's how I set up myself. I don't create like a fixated price. And if it gets to that area, for example, actually I think PayPal is a really good recent example where it's in that range now, and I've been taking those pauses and reassessing. Okay, well, has anything changed since I last did my evaluation or opinion? And I've had to make some readjustments or kind of reaffirmations to the scenarios in which PayPal would experience anemic growth, stagnant growth. So, which kind of funny, not really funny, but if you see the valuations back in the days when I did it with PayPal, that's pretty much what we're seeing now, right? It's we're expecting, or the market is now expecting more tempered / anemic growth, and the stock price is now reflecting that new reality. And then now it's up to me to determine, do I agree with it too? For now, I just don't like the business it's in. And that was the conclusion even back then, because I think it dipped to like 70 and then it rallied to 90, but I didn't get involved. And what my constant hesitation is, every time I revisit it, I say to myself, well, I don't really like this business model. It could do well, and someone else might find it very attractive, but it's not for me. And then there's businesses, to answer Dan's question, where I've said, yeah, I'm going to cut my losses here. The most notably actually was a similar competitor-ish, not really, but in the same vicinity. GPN, remember that one?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, allocation about 3-ish%, somewhere around there. I don't remember exactly, but I think I took like a 20% haircut on it. 20 or 18, somewhere around there. So it wasn't insignificant haircut for the position itself, but realizing, hey, now is not really the right time. Things change in terms of my outlook, or I realigned my outlook, because I like to have sometimes multiple bets. Okay, if I think payments volumes are going to increase because I might be wrong on economic trajectory, well, maybe this play will do well, but then this other play is kind of playing the opposite side of that. And then hopefully the hope is I kind of realign properly the positions, and I kind of start to realize which way or which one's going to be right. And hopefully I've done enough work to get my allocation where I'm not losing my shirt on a GPN. Because could you imagine, for example, obviously that wasn't the case, but what if I had made GPN 50% position, right?
Oh,
Because I'm just like so hubrisly confident.
So like
That
for me,
would've been bad.
for carrier, like my oh, it's really echoing, Fabio.
Oh no, I'm gonna mute myself because I'm going into the store now.
Oh,
all right. Yeah, he's muted.
so like for carrier, when I started buying carrier last year, like I was buying it around this area
For
in the
Fabio's.
30s.
Yep.
So I had like a buy, yeah, like again, I had a buy range. It's changed a bit since then, but it was roughly like it was like 30 to 39-ish, something like that. So once it hit 40, I stopped buying. So people like, how, are you still excited about carrier? Like, yeah, I'm still interested in carrier. Granted, I haven't bought it this year at all. So I don't feel, and then, I had to sit there for a long time. Here it is. Just, I like the company. I like what they're doing, but it's not in my range. And there's been some drops. Got down to here. I thought about it. I almost added some more. I did debate because now it got close to back in my range, and I thought, do I want to buy at this point? I had some other investments I wanted to do, but it constantly evolves though, and I think some of these retail people, they just don't think about. They commit to they get on the team, whatever that company is, Team SoFi or Team PayPal, and they're just like, I'm in the stock. I love the story. I'm committed. Let's go. We're all a brotherhood. And then they just keep buying the dip. And I'm like, I'm just watching this. I'm like, you can get really wrecked. Peter Lynch talked about this in One Up on Wall Street. I brought up one of the videos. He's like, there's nothing to stop a stock from keep dropping. So he brings up specific examples from his time. What was the one? There was one he specifically, it's going to be in one of the videos that I linked. It was an older Polaroid. He brings up Polaroid as an example where it was like 150 and then it got to 100 and people are like, oh, buy the dip, man. This is the lowest. This is the bottom. We're going to make tendies. And then it got 67. It just kept dropping. And then people get panicky. And I think people should think like you should set a buy range. And if it gets under that buy range or over it, you need to reassess what you're doing. Because stocks can keep going. Like you look at this and you're like, oh, it was 90. So I don't know if retail, it could go back to 90. Or they pull the 5-day chart or 5-year chart and they look at this and like, oh shit, man, it was 90 before and it's 50. So hell, I could double my money. It'll go back there someday. And then it just keeps dipping and it keeps dipping and they start to panic, but they don't want to admit it was a bad investment and cut their losses. So they double down. But I would tell them, okay, I'm not saying sell it, but like, just stop. Like, just take a pause, people, breathe. Like, you don't have to buy more. You don't have to lower your cost basis. I'm not lowering my cost basis with Vornado. I bought it in like the $23 cost range, and now it's down to like 13, I think. I'm not buying the dip because I think the fundamentals of why I bought, nothing's changed. And if anything, you could say it got worse actually, but it is what it is. I made the investment the size I wanted. It's gone the other way on me. Buying the dip is not in the cards. So either I ride it out or I sell it, but you don't have to keep buying it. And like there's Tyson Foods and then there's Intel, and it's just like,
good old Intel.
They think, oh, well, if you loved it at 40, why don't you buy it at 20 and all this stuff? I'm like, well, the reason you bought this stock in the 40s, the fundamentals of that investment have changed. And I know they have.
Yeah.
This is not the same company when you bought it here. Intel's taken their freaking lunch money, or AMD is taking their lunch money. Like, you have to figure out, how does Intel solve that? I would tell you not to. I told some YouTubers in live streams when they're like, should I lower my cost basis? I said, no. I'm like, don't do it. I said this months ago. Nothing has changed. It's even gotten worse. But they need that recognition. I don't know. It's tough to say, right? Because maybe they buy the dip and then the one time they do it, it ruse on them. And
I wouldn't be surprised if there's like an element of like mental, emotional stuff going on. Like, you know how people like to talk about how there's risk tolerance or risk intolerance. I forget the exact term for it, but like people tend to react differently when it comes to, when they're already down. And I think we talked about this actually like last time, of like, the person at a casino who's like, all right, I'm already down a little bit, but I want to make it back. I'm going to make it back. And like they push themselves, throw themselves and elevate that risk tolerance or risk profile.
It's humankind, right? You want to get back.
Yeah.
You want to just get your money back. You don't want to have that loss. You want to get your loss. Like, you want to, you don't want to walk out a loser or something. You just like, a little more and I'll just catch up and I'll just break even and then I'm out. And it's like, okay.
I have noticed that. Like, I
well,
think
here's a Warren Buffett quote: "You can make the money back a different way than you lost it." There you go. I'm not even a Buffett guy, and there you go. So
that is one quote actually from like a lot of the bigger names, is like, or a trait they all share, a commonality of like, I hate losing money. And I think in my case, I'll modify it to like, I just don't want to lose big money. Like, because I'm pretty dumb many times,
and there's a good likelihood, I've said before, like I'm probably transitioning to mostly an index investor. It's probably going to be the way forward for me. I still like picking stocks, but I just like, I'm setting up for retirement. I just want stability, less volatility. So like, I'm trying to push people, like, you can be a dividend growth investor and you can have mostly ETFs. And you're not, you don't have to pick all the stocks. Like, I think this is a phenomenal investment. This is the core of what I do now. And then when I get closer to retirement, and if I need monthly payments, which I don't even know if I need monthly payments, but I've talked about Wisdom Tree, same idea,
Wisdom Tree,
quality dividend growth fund.
Yeah.
If I needed monthly payments, which I don't think I do, but so this covers all the bases, the big boys. Now I can maybe hunt for, like we've said, just that like 20% small piece that I think can have huge outperformance to my ETF I'm investing in. So I'm looking for what the 10 bagger, as Peter Lynch would say. It's kind of, I don't know I wonder if he did. Was he the start of the 10X YouTube?
Oh, I'm
but
not
he said
sure.
10 bagger, not 10.
Yeah, I think he did say bag. I think he might have been one of the first to say baggers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd like to, like, that's I want to go hunt for like Tractor Supply. I think I'm going to 4 or 5X that by the time I retire. We'll see. It's already up a pretty good chunk. So, but maybe that's the hardest part about dividend growth investors. You feel like, or dividend investors, you feel like you have to pick individual stocks. And there's other YouTubers, I've put them in my channel, that you can be mostly these nice solid ETFs, and then you can maybe go after some small investments that can help you outperform. And then there's your hobby of investing.
Yeah.
For 9-to-5ers like me, that's probably the way to go, because you just don't have a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is Fabio back?
He might be. I think he's unmuted.
There was. Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you now?
Okay. There actually was. I don't know if I've spoken about it definitely in the past, but it kind of goes into it. I've had the most impactful one, and it was decently early on. I've spoken about Shopify before, right?
Yes.
So I didn't put 100% of my portfolio into it, but it was the first one that achieved over a 10x.
Oh.
And I haven't had one since that one, by the way, if anyone's wondering.
Oh.
That was like the last 10x, because Alphabet has been a long investment in my portfolio, and it has not achieved a 10x.
I don't know if I've had a 10x. I've had like
I'm hoping
5,
one
maybe a
day get
5x,
100x from something. I don't know.
I think you guys are discounting your wives, and shame on the two of you.
Oh,
Yeah. If she hasn't left, that means that she hasn't taken half, which means you all are still going well.
oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
my wife's got all the 401k assets because my 401k is trash, so it's all her. But
Nah.
But yeah, that one investment, I will say, it's like sometimes that one investment makes a difference where then you can, well, I guess if it could just as easily like come right back down, but it could change your entire investment journey.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that. I forget his name, and it's unfortunate because he what he did was remarkable. He had a 5% position, make him a billionaire. You know who I'm talking about? The guy in India. He passed away recently.
I'm drawing a blank.
He had a 5% position, and it's kind of more of a lesson about letting the compounders compound.
Yep.
To be honest, then if I didn't follow that rule with Shopify, because what is Shopify at? Is it like even at all-time highs now? Because I
wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, no, it's. Maybe I should just let it, and then.
Oh, it's pretty high.
Yeah.
What's that right now?
60.
Okay, never mind. Yeah,
never mind.
Yeah.
But it's done a couple splits now, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back in the olden days, that's when I acquired it for about 80, high 70s a share. Back when before the splits.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you made out like a bandit.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Janitorial days.
Fondly, yes, absolutely.
Oh wait a minute! It just dawned on me. You guys know about the little competition thing that I was in my school's like investor club thing with the paper trading account. Yeah. I won an Amazon gift card off a paper trading account. So if you throw in $0, but you get gift card money out, where does that rank on the 10x, the multi-bagger?
Well, that's like an infinite X. So.
Let's ignore the cost of tuition, though.
Oh, hasn't that Chris Meyer guy actually gotten 100x now?
That I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with him.
Because that is the legendary investment. But you got an infinite return X.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mute myself. You guys don't hear that.
Irony. I actually had okay returns while listening and partaking of all this financial information.
Well, I think we hit all the topics, so.
Yep. I'm looking forward to because are you still thinking about having more work on the buy the dip concept in the future?
I'd like to do something because this is just my take and Fabio's. I really like. The problem is I know right now there's not going to be research about buying the dip as far as like you, the investor, buying individual stocks. It's going to be probably like buying the dip of like the S&P 500.
Oh, okay.
So most research you find is it's not specific. Usually they like do like research on an index. They don't like do like you, the trader, doing this strategy research. So, yeah, it's hard to find really relevant research on investing. That's exactly what you want it to look like. So I found those Hartford ones that I put in other videos because I thought those were, but those are, again, those not research. It's just it was like a letter from Schwab or whatever investment firm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we'd hit everything. So hopefully the economy doesn't fall apart next week. They'll find a deal. I'm not that concerned.
I'm not crazy concerned either. I mean, even though, like,
Like, what do I say? A crisis is opportunity.
Yep.
A lot of my best trades recently have been from last fall, the currency crisis stuff we went through.
Yeah.
So we'll deal with it as it comes. Stay invested, but do what you can in it.
You want to talk some good old war stories or military stories?
I was trying to think of something good. I don't
know. Here's one. Because I think you were in before me, right?
I was like 2002 to 2011.
Yeah, you beat me. Would you say the E4 Mafia existed then?
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
What, like the guys that were E4s? Well, in the Guard, there wasn't you could stay like an E4 for your whole career. Like,
wow.
In the Army, those guys, you had a time limit and you had to be promotable or you were out.
Yeah.
But the Guard don't play that. Well, they didn't at that time. So you'd have like guys that are like 18 years in the Army, still E4s. They walk around like, they're the king shit. So
yeah, it's such a beautiful rank.
I had fun. Like some of the best stuff I did was like learning how to drive. Hey, Kingdom.
Yes, that is a Poland ball in the background.
Like
space.
Like teaching people how to drive of the trucks, because I was one of the trainers for my guys that learned how to drive like the 5 tons, deuce and a halves, fuel trucks and stuff. That stuff was always fun. Yeah, part of me thought I was going to be a trucker almost when I left. I didn't have a great plan when I got back from Afghanistan.
But you've landed on your feet, I'd say. Like, especially right now these days.
Yeah,
plenty well.
Very busy.
Yeah.
So.
I know E4, by the way, is a pay grade, not a rank, but the whole concept of the E4 Mafia, though, it's funny for me because like the older timers while I was in, they'd say, "Oh, the E4 Mafia doesn't exist, or it's not what it used to be." In that, like, you could trust the E4 Mafia to police its own, and maybe it's like, as I was getting out, that changed over time, where it was more of a E4s trying to just sham and trying to get away with doing as little as possible, so to speak. But but yeah, it's
like
funny.
So I would do like the picture that people can see in the thumbnail. So I would I probably shouldn't have, because I was an officer. I would run the gun turret. Strong man's gonna roll his eyes at me. I can just picture it. I'll tell. And I got yelled at about it. Some colonel is like, he's like, you can't do that. You need
commander seat.
He looked in front of my guys. He's like, you can't run up the turret. You're too valuable for the Army. Like, bro, God. But that was fun though.
My guess is you probably.
I just tried to give some of my soldiers a break because people like. We had people break down over there, just emotional breakdowns, and everyone has their breaking point.
Yeah.
I was fine, but not everyone is the same. That's why I said people can't handle stress. I'm not that concerned about it. We're all different.
Yeah,
but people break down. I did once. I did have a soldier pull his gun on me.
Well.
Yeah. So he had to go to psych in Germany, but you just deal with it. I mean, I was fine with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
he left. Maybe he'll be back. Yeah, he's coming back. Yeah, he's back with the brick wall.
Yeah, the brick wall background.
and the gym clothes.
Very nice.
So do you want to transition to your channel? We'll log off, or you want to keep going, or
We keep going if you guys are having fun. The one I was gonna do was like basically like a capital mindset gold sense live questions, however many people want to ask. We look into whatever people want. That's what I was thinking about, winging it.
I guess okay. One topic we haven't talked about. So I guess in general, like based on the current debt situation with Congress, I guess that's the biggest elephant in the room in the next few weeks. Have you thought about it, planned for it? You just kind of in wait and see mode for now, or?
Yeah, no, I'm wait and see. I mean, because I've actually been on kind of like a savings hiatus. I know I've been buying that one big allocation to Amazon, but other than that, really, like this year's been kind of muted on buys. And besides what I've contributed to the brokerage accounts, I've just been saving some cash. I've opened the Goldman Sachs savings account on Apple.
Oh,
yeah. So I'm just shoving money in there.
I'm telling you what, that I'm going to look through my watch list this weekend and make sure I'm on point with what I want to watch. But that's on there. That's definitely at the top
Goldman
of my watch
Sachs?
list. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm going to clean house on my watch list. So
what they have with Apple, it's really something special in terms of being able to raise all that capital. I mean, it's not free, obviously,
No,
but they're having the opposite issue that other banks are having, because it's weird. It's like people, no, it's weird. It makes sense. People don't have that same association. And so the end consumer, I mean, there's freaks like us that know that it's by Goldman Sachs. Then there's maybe the slightly more astute person who reads between the lines and notice that it's by Goldman Sachs. And then there's the average person that's just like savings account by Apple savings.
well, here's, I guess, my concern
Apple's
from my last research on Goldman. Do you think, like, is the credit card going to get better because they have the savings account? Meaning, like, the credit card, they were giving it to like everybody that applied, it seemed like.
Yeah.
The FICO scores of the people that got those cards and the allowance for credit loss were really high, or concerning. I don't want to say high. They were just concerning to me. So I wonder if they will improve that now that they have the savings account with it. I guess I'm just thinking it through, but
I don't think it will. I mean, there are customers like all of us here. If you're watching YouTube Finance, you're probably also, paying your credit cards on time. You're not trying to carry a balance. But for what they have effectively done is the wide net approach, and their card offering isn't compelling enough to attract, let's say, those like credit card enthusiasts, which, if we're being honest, do you really want them? Do you really make money on the credit card enthusiasts? You know what I mean?
SoFi shareholders would disagree, good sir.
The credit card enthusiasts? Oh, no. Yeah. Because I feel like the credit card enthusiasts just milk the credit card companies, because they know how to take every cent of value.
All you have to do is get Amex card and put your gas and groceries on it, pay it off every month, $50 a month in your pocket. Like, I don't know what else you say about credit cards. Otherwise, pay it all off. Like,
which Amex card? Because I was like, not.
Well, I have the USAA version, but I guess it's the blue. Is the generic one the blue one for gas and groceries? Okay.
Yeah, the blue one. Yeah, that's a good card. There's like the Amex trifecta, and that's included in that, or the business blue, which is 2 points per dollar spend, no annual fee, and then you get the gold and the platinum.
Yeah, I get 3 points on restaurants, 2 points on gas and groceries on unlimited.
And it's no annual fee, right?
No annual fee.
Yeah.
Very nice.
There's the paid one, you get a little bit more points. Yeah, but it made no sense. Why would you pay for a credit card? I don't get that. I never have.
Okay. So
you might. I mean, you travel a lot, so
only because of that. Yeah. If I travel just a couple times a year, I wouldn't get it.
It makes sense. Yeah, if you travel monthly. If I traveled like monthly out of state, I probably would do one of those.
Yeah.
I think it would be worth. And then they have I got offered one of those black cards where it had like concierge number, so there was a person you could call that was dedicated to that card, and it was like, oh my god, I think it was $4,000 a year. I don't know why they sent me this application.
Oh, you got offered that.
Yeah, it came in this giant black. So it was like at the envelope was the card. It was real. I should have taken a photo of it. It was really nice.
From Amex, though, right?
Yeah, it was attached to
Yep.
Amex.
So that was the Centurion. You either
think
got
so.
the business Centurion or the personal Centurion.
I don't remember.
They know. They know.
The packaging was exquisite. I was very impressed. I wish I kept it.
Yeah,
They
I think
know.
the new annual fee on the Centurion card is $5,000 a year.
Oh, yeah.
But
I mean,
it comes
if you,
with
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no. Well, it's bad to think about it this way, but now I think it comes with the fully paid Equinox gym membership. But the thing is, if you're not going to that gym and then you get that card and then you go to that gym, you're not actually saving money. And that's what some credit card people do not, for some reason, understand. It's like, you're not saving money. You're spending more money. You're paying it like up front, and then they're footing the bill, but you're still elevated your expenses. You went from going to Planet Fitness, LA, wherever, to Equinox, and you're paying for it. It's not free. Oh, I moved the. But
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
really. I really haven't bought much this year, honestly. I mean, I had Schwab, but that I cut that when I did my big cut of stocks. Really,
purge.
Cigna is the only thing I've bought this year, I think, other than the ETFs.
Cigna, I think, will do well. I think Cigna will do well. Humana, I think it is really good quality. Cigna's not bad quality. They're all good quality. That's the thing. Like, when you're dealing with health insurers, you're kind of just.
Well,
I don't know one really.
See, here's the difference, because like I looked at yours, and I'm like, if I wasn't a dividend investor, I see that one. I get it. My thesis on Cigna is kind of attached to like the share buybacks. At some point, I feel like they can't buy back. They're getting to the point where buying more shares back almost seems silly because the float is so low, and I feel like they're going to really crank up the dividends soon. So that's part of my thesis on that. But as far as just looking at the company in whole, I see the one Humana I think makes a lot of sense.
And Cigna's kind of did a little bit of a bounce, but not really. Like, so anyone watching right now, from the very low, recent low, it's only up 5%. So it's not like it's raced away from anyone. And I don't know. I think Humana, sorry, not Humana, Blue. My brain wants like Humana. No, Cigna's done pretty well. All things considered over the longer period of time. And like Dan said, I think they're by far the most aggressive in their share buyback program.
Oh yeah. Did you know? So the CEO owns over 1 million shares, and their float is like 290-ish million. So he owns a significant part of the company. I don't know if I've seen a CEO. I get families own big chunks, but like a specific CEO, he owns quite a big piece. So
you see what I posted. If you remind me to do more, I'll see what I can dig up, because those
I didn't see that one. I didn't read that one.
Those are all now for you guys to read. So you just DM me, and then I'll get interviews and stuff.
Very nice.
See what I can gather.
Nice. Very cool.
But that's just the things I wanted to share with you guys. But like Cigna, I think that was someone from, I forget. I put it in the title. So I
think it's going to be a good time, because I haven't really been that excited since the last fall, when everything just tanked. September, October it was very exciting. Like a lot of the stocks I buy at that point were just dropping. But lately, I'm like, everything I look at, it's just so damn expensive, like Pepsi, McDonald's type stuff. I struggle. Like dividend stuff is very, like Procter and Gamble's really expensive. This is a bad time for my type of investing. Kind of part of the reason I wanted the ETF.
Okay, people are taking drugs right now.
Oh, actually, I do have a little random topic related to picking stonks. So there was this disagreement didn't get heated or anything like that, but the argument of a founder or a CEO, founder CEO, do you like seeing them being large shareholder.
Why wouldn't I? Of course.
But Fabio.
Oh, Fabio, are you ready
Fabio.
for this? I got a new ETF for you.
Oh no.
Boom. What do you think of that?
Oh no.
How's
Oh
it
jeez.
going?
No.
There's
no.
Moat and
Go Max.
Boss.
Oh jeez.
Go Max.
Oh
Go
jeez.
Max.
Oh no. No,
Could
because
show you what's in it.
Wait, no. Go Max chart though. Go Max chart.
Oh,
I
you
wanna
want
see.
Max? Okay.
oh
Yeah, give me
jeez.
that Max. Yeah.
So, well, I mean, so
Well, there was a
2017.
time. If
Yeah.
we change our measure and
Yeah.
stick to 2021, that's
Dude.
probably yeah.
It's fast. I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah. First Moat and now this.
Like as an investment, it's not performed very well.
The thing is, it's probably including a lot of shitcos in here because there's a lot of shitcos out there that are.
Yeah.
Well, plus it's a global X ETF, so that's
Yeah.
a negative
That too.
in general.
Yeah, these two are very like anti-diversity. Everyone, I don't stand with them.
Oh dear God.
Oh my
why?
God. Okay.
You
When-
see, that's what
wait.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's
Hey,
gonna
there's
be a
Datadog.
decent amount of shitcos in there.
I didn't know. Okay, well, Palantir's been on a run, so I guess that makes it wasn't last time that high. So
like
Nvidia.
Snapchat, shitco, Dropbox. Okay, Dropbox has some qualities to it. It's well run. It's just a tough business, but it's well run.
Oof, snap.
Dell.
Hey, UiPath. It's like all these names just keep coming
Nvidia.
back.
Oh my.
I didn't know Nvidia, or I knew Nvidia. I didn't know Zoom was founder run. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, CrowdStrike.
Roblox.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, Netflix would have been on here.
Yep, it would have.
But now it's
is
going to get removed if it is on here.
Tesla's pretty far down. Well,
Just
they're
really
all
surprising.
about 1%.
There's a thing because now this strategy assumes that after the founder steps down, that the business just becomes crap. And that's not necessarily the case at all.
Oh, God,
it's just a transition. And you go from someone who, well, it's not like the founders leave. Well, say Starwood's well managed. It's just, well, if you consider what their goal has been as an investment, they've done it. Basically, it's been a cash cow.
It's just
okay. This is another one on my watch list. I've mentioned it before. I'm still I'm thinking it through for the political play next year.
Oh yeah. You mentioned this to me.
No.
This isn't going to be long term. It is a it actually it looks like a good dividend growth investment, but that's not.
Yeah, Dan was telling me off camera that like Q will rise, and he's going to do it through next star.
Hey, shout out to Foo Hat whenever he sees this. Blue Owl.
Blue Owl Capital is.
Yeah, it's in there.
Oh yeah, it is founder run. It's still basically at the
Howard Marks, right?
No.
Okay. No, now Foo Hat's gonna Now Foo Hat's gonna come after you.
Yeah, he is.
I gotta buy this now. It's got my garbage investment of last year. I must buy it.
Vornado. Oh, Kilroy would be on here, but
I feel like when people, I will never bash you because I'm in it with you. I'm just on the other coast, but but then, like I said, like I'm not buying the dip on it. It's what I thought it is. So
the reason why I brought up the whole like, did you want founder CEO to be a large shareholder, is because I came across an interesting quote. I forgot who exactly said it or like the exact wording of the quote, but the argument was, or the claim was, you want a business partner to be able to have such sheer force of will that force of will just makes things happen. Whereas if you were to buy a company rather than partner with a company, you want that person to be as boring and as systematic as possible. Thoughts?
What?
Because the argument or the claim is that to partner or to operate a business, you would require a skill set that is different than having a manager that you want to acquire a business from. Basically, key person risk is what I'm getting at. Oh, don't say Ferg. Ferg makes me sad because I feel like I might have missed it. But
Okay, so like because the person who is systematic is like predictable, and so you know what you're getting yourself into, versus the founder who just gets things done. It's
yes,
kind of like unpredictability.
yeah, it's like the debate of like, do you want Steve Jobs running Apple or do you want Tim Cook?
Ooh.
Yeah, that one's tough because even then, even with Steve Jobs, he had to get kicked out of there first time around, and then
See,
he
that's
got
the
brought back the
ultimate.
second time.
Did they need? It's interesting. Yeah, you got the founder, the kooky founder, and then the
Yep.
guy that put it all together actually
Yep.
afterwards.
Yeah, so it just a fun little question. I obviously do this from time to time, and I botch the wording badly unless I prepare for it.
Okay, well, I'll say it this way. I feel like the founder needs a team behind
Mhm.
them that can put things together.
Yeah.
But if they need to be I want them to be the driving force, the visionary.
Mhm.
So there's a place for that crazy wacko who's telling us to do things that we think is impossible, and then we go at it, and then we just figure it out. Like right now, I'm actually dealing with that right now somewhat, in
Mm.
terms of like there's a task that no one in the firm has done because the firm hasn't done this before, and just by circumstance, I'm put in that position where I'm asked to complete those things,
Mhm.
and there's no one to ask, how do I do this? But the quest is simple: get this done. And I just have to, okay, how do I get this done? And it just has to be done. So I feel like
Survive.
yeah, that's important. I mean, like, I know, like, for example, I say this to myself every day when I'm like, oh my gosh, I really do not know what the next step is here. I go like, this is great experience.
Yes. Oh yeah.
That's what I tell myself to get through it. I'm like, this is fantastic experience. But but going back to like something like Apple, like, yeah, I want a Tim Cook in there, but if I'm being honest, like there's a lot of aspects that I think Apple has kind of just gone through a lot of financial engineering, and I almost am
Ooh.
worried for them on the next stage of things. And that's completely natural if they fall away. By
Yeah.
the way, that's like
Oh yeah.
supernatural.
Yeah.
So that's not some, oh, they're going to be like a rare case to have a company that was the best company in the world and then kind of not died, but fell by the wayside a little bit. And the other companies that we didn't even think would kind of took their thunder. So I was looking, for example, because I know it's so cringe to say now because all the cringe YouTubers are saying it. But I do think that augmented and virtual reality will be a huge factor in the next decade, along with artificial intelligence. And I'm looking at it actually because one of the projects that I'm involved in right now is using artificial intelligence and machine learning. Machine learning sounds fancier than it is. It's just an algorithm. But to do things that aren't being done in the industry, and so working on those projects it's really fascinating because it's like I'm seeing how beyond the gimmick of AI, what are the practical implications that these guys what they've come up with, how we can apply it besides just using it to cheat on homework, etc. There's really cool things I'm seeing down the road. And even with blockchain, there was interesting conversations that we were having about trying to solve a problem with well, you already know this, guys, but like settlement contracts, right?
Yep.
And in the future, it's really interesting how that can be implemented in this industry, especially in broader speaking in private equity, like how blockchain technology, not how Bitcoin or
Yes. Yeah.
Blockchain technology can solve a lot of issues. So with that being said, I think Apple in augmented reality, virtual reality, because I went off on a tangent there, is falling a little bit behind for now, but they could still like come up with something fantastic, but they're falling a little bit behind. And in the AI space, they really are falling behind. I'm almost kind of, and no one's counting them. I'm really kind of thinking that Amazon's has a real edge there. like if you have conversations with the engineers there, and I had a conversation with an engineer the other day who worked on the projects at both Amazon and Alphabet. He went from Alphabet to Amazon. And by the way, I own Alphabet, love Alphabet, etc. But he was warning me that, or they, to keep them even more anonymous, warning me that, not warning me. It's not a warning. It's just kind of friendly conversation. Hey, like, I saw what Alphabet was doing, and it's really good. There's a lot of good stuff in there. But what Amazon is doing, hush hush, is really, really good. So it's just Amazon's really tight lip about it.
Yeah.
Which, some might argue from a marketing standpoint, like Microsoft's killed it. Well, not Microsoft, OpenAI, they've killed it. ChatGPT, it's now the verb, like almost. It's like, oh, I'm going to use ChatGPT. Everyone's thinking, I'm going to use AI. I'll use ChatGPT. They don't think about anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's just a language model.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's not actually AI. But it's cool. It can do a lot of cool things. Like a lot of cool things. I'm not going to lie, but
I'll still have my job because artificial incompetence, not even mentioned.
yeah, we need people to stare, copy, paste.
Yeah. Control C, Control V.
Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V.
So I think I had mentioned this on, I don't know if I mentioned this Discord to anybody specific, but so Pfizer, Andrew was talking about it last night, since like Pfizer, through all the COVID work and all the good they did for the world, had a $37 billion war chest.
Oh,
So
yeah. Yeah.
that was it. Third quarter 2022. The height of that was it. That was the bag that they secured from doing the COVID vaccine. And my thought at the time back then, I'm like, well, the stock. So we're talking November 1st was when they released that info. So it was like here. So I'm like, I really thought, I'm like, they're going to piss that money away. No other way to put it. I didn't think they had a good use for that money because I listened to that call and he didn't have any good answers for what to do with that. And now some people are like, oh, well, why pay a dividend or do this? Why not just hold the bag of money, right? That's what a company should do. Just secure, don't do anything with it. So I really thought about, I was going to freaking short Pfizer because I'm like, when they start losing that bag, like, I'm like, it's going to run because everyone's excited of $37 billion potential, but then they're going to start squandering it.
Do you know if they did?
It kind of played out the way I thought, honestly. I don't know. But like I said, I was like the currency crisis investments. I was plowing money into those investments at the same time. Yeah. So it went on the back burner. But
do you know if they what they did with it? Was it R&D? Did they buy back a ton of stock at really elevated prices?
They're going to buy. They're going to buy a company. I can't remember what it was. So one of it's they're going to do an M&A. That was, but they didn't really say much what they were going to do with it. And everyone keeps telling me they have a great pipeline. I don't see it, honestly, because I noticed a lot of the company's acquisitions, the big boys, they're trying to buy cancer drug companies. That seems to be what they're all trying to push for. Yeah. And Pfizer was very slim on its cancer drugs in its pipeline. So they did. They're trying to buy one company. I think it's Seattle Seagans or Seattle Farm. A certain person knows in the group, but it's funny because there was the excitement after that. The war chest was revealed and it did run, and then I think people came to the realization they didn't have really a good forward plan, and then it's like this just crater of Pfizer. And now we're looking and we're like, they're plowing through that cash really fast, like 37-ish billion. I mean, they're almost half of it's gone now. So it's like, wow.
Yikes.
I know. It's like,
take a look at Bristol Myers now. They've actually come down. I know that they've really focused on oncology.
I don't have any drug companies right now. They're on my watch list because I'm out of Merck and Johnson & Johnson. So that's funny you say that because I think long term, I think they have the best pipeline for 5-10 years forward. I don't know, but I didn't know it came down to 65.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
telling
hadn't
you.
looked at it recently.
I'm bringing it up because they've.
Do you want to share a screen or something, or
No.
But
Okay.
But do BMY and Pfizer have moats?
Yes, pharmaceuticals have huge.
Yeah, I was gonna say besides the pipeline.
Well,
a pipeline is not a moat. It's a pipeline.
My God.
They have patents, which is like the best moat.
Moat's hilarious. Moat is what you want it to be. So I don't think I always look at moats as like usually it's a cluster of companies, not one company that has a moat.
Yeah.
A lot of times I find like in my investments, like Coke, Pepsi, or like I've said before, like I think the greatest moat in the world is the Silverado F-150 and Ram. Just the three of them together, and they'll flip flop like places, but it's always those three. So I don't know. I can't it's always like, is it really that relevant to everyone's like so quick to say your investments have moats, right? The stocks you own always have moats, but not the other people.
Yeah.
So it's just a weird, like, I don't know, defensive answer for people.
Yeah. Here's screenshot worthy. Is this a moat?
But I mean, and they'll be like, well, I don't see any competitors. I'm like, well, yeah, but do you appreciate at some point? Well, if you saw that there was a competitor that could take their moat, then you wouldn't say they had a moat, would you?
Yeah.
So it's kind of pointless to say that. Like Adobe, I'm telling you, like Adobe, someone's coming for them, and people would say they have a moat because they are the graphic software. I don't see it, but
even then, like I'd say for a lot of moat companies, at some point they become boring, don't they? Like some of the railroads or utilities, like don't some of them have great moats in many ways, and no one cares.
But yeah, does it have value? Does it have value to the
Yeah.
stock in your investment? I mean, that's even, I don't know, depends.
Yeah.
I think,
but like Pepsi and McDonald's were able to raise prices to deal with the loss of quantity of goods sold during COVID.
Yep.
So I don't know if is that a moat per se, or
pricing power?
Would you just call it the Meet Kevin term? Would you call it Big PP? I don't know. But Fabio's like, everything I own is a moat.
Fabio is thinking, yeah. He's...
Like literally though, like I saw that ETF and it's like he owned 4 of the 5 top holdings. One of them you didn't now, but it was like most of your portfolios in there, I think.
Yeah. And it's not I mean to. I don't mean to. It's just I like that.
I was like, Fabio, this is you.
It's my spirit ETF, like you said.
Yeah.
What if it was actually you? Like you have.
Yeah. What if the guy's copying you? We don't even know he's in Discord.
Yeah. Or it's like Fight Club, where like you got like such a sleeping disorder where you're actually a fund manager.
Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna collect fees on this Fabio's brain, man.
Yeah.
This is all my idea, guys. What is it? Van Eck runs it. I think it's Van Eck.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Van Eck, I got a great idea. Moat.
Yeah, there's true passive income, folks. Just
his first slide better have been a castle. That's all I'm saying.
To explain it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is the pitch.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna head out because I'm gonna prepare for the stream. And
cool.
And
yeah,
then,
good timing. An hour and a half.
Yep.
I'll see like where it goes, because pretty much it's going to be open for all the members across platform, whoever joins to ask questions. I don't know how I'm going to unify the questions. Well, no, I'm going to share like some sort of thing. But anyways,
you could alternate.
Like, no, I was going to just share.
Okay.
Oh, look at who it is. It's
Gundar.
Financial education. Oh no,
Gundar.
Well, I'm going to play my sweet outro, so you can leave though.
Yeah.
No, I want to hear the outro.
It's pretty good, I think. But okay. So everyone listening, thanks for joining us. Thank you, Fabio, for joining impromptu. So we'll do this again at some point. Maybe we'll title this the bacon something. I don't know.
Oh, no.
The bacon sizzle.
Bacon time.
So everyone have a good weekend and enjoy my outro. Or don't. I'm still going to play it. So.